Okay, we're back. So now we're going to go ahead and get into what the header involves. And that header is going to be the section up here that controls this top area where your contact info is, your logo, your navigation, your breadcrumbs, and things of that nature. It's going to be anything that's really pretty much in that top third of the site above the slideshow. Anyway, in that zone, you've got the ability to do a number of different things. And so we'll kind of spend a little bit more time right here. But just starting out with each and going tab from tab to tab, what we'll start out with is the layout. So here you can decide just with the touch of a button, do you want the logo to be on top of the navigation or do you want it to be out to the left? And you'll see that changes, and then you give some different spacing parameters, how much margin you want around all those things. Whether you want extra margin, you can see that there's a bunch of extra space right now underneath that nav. We want to go ahead and keep that because that actually is the buffer between there and our slideshow. But I'm going to go back to inline because that's how I would like to control that. Now, depending on what type of logo and how big you want it to be, that's really going to depend on how you want this stacked. Secondarily then, just like in the head background controls before, if you've got a global color that you're trying to use, go ahead and plug that hex color in. You may want to set it as a different color to differentiate it from the rest of the site. You'll see that, oh, I've got an image selected, sorry. If you'll see down here in the category, let's go ahead and remove that for a second. And what you'll see is then that the color will pop in there because that's now what I've got it filled with. And so that makes it an easy parameter to come in. You could also have different textures back there, any of the things that are available to any of the image backgrounds that you've got. Some people want a panorama in there. Who knows? It might be any number of things that could be applied. So anyway, that's how you're going to control that. And then also in this header piece, you have the control of the transparency. So say I want to drop the opacity though of this whole area to allow any background texture or picture that I have to show through. So you might have an actual background texture or pattern that is set to the entire global background that you'd like to have coming through that header piece, but this gives you a nice bit of transparency along with that. So I'm going to turn that back up to 100. We'll close that. So this is the next section here that gets to be really cool and crucial for a lot of sites, being able to have contact information. And you'll see that each one of these zones, if you don't have any content in them, they will go away. That it's actually designed to actually hide those areas that don't have any contact. So like say if we select all of this here, this content inside the box for the top bar, which is this dark gray bar up here, let's go ahead and cut it. Let's undo that. Let's cut it. And then you'll see that once the site refreshes, that bar will then go away. So you may want a site that doesn't have any of that, and so it's just as simple as removing that information. But if you do want it, then you can control that right here. You can also set that text area there to a left, right, or center. And then determine how much padding you want to run it. Maybe you want a little bit bigger font up there, which is controlled right here. Let's say we want not that big, about a 22 point font instead of an 18. And you'll see here momentarily that should change out. Oh, that's the icon size. Actually, that's for the social icons. Let's go ahead and put that back to 18 because we had that nice and formatted. If you scroll down just a little bit further, you'll actually get control for the font size. So let's go ahead and put that to like a 15. So you'll see that it expands to get just a little bit larger. There we go. And so we also then in that whole entire bar have padding top and bottom. Say we want to add a little bit more airspace to that. Go ahead and do those. You'll see that changes. Okay. And then maybe we want to add a different color. I don't know. Maybe there's something else you've got going on up there and you want to have it to be a little bit more minimal or sleek. And there you go. So that's the top bar. And then again, all you have to do is just remove the data from here if you don't want it to show at all. Same thing with our alert bar. You're going to go ahead and put in a test message. How about test? T-E-S-T-M-E-S. To your customer. And you'll see that what will happen is that box then will open up. Now this one carries the same styling as whatever the main backdrop of the site is. So if you have a really cool texture or something back there, it's going to show. Just like the rest of this document is white, it's controlled that way. So you've also got the ability to align this message however you want as well. Real straightforward, real simple. And you'll see that pop over as the site refreshes. We're going to go ahead and stop there, and we'll go ahead and move into logo and the rest of those in the next tutorial.